Hello! Before this video even begins, I would just like to preface by saying I should have gotten a size small. I thought I was a size medium. I'm not. My mistake. This is a video about strawberry milk denim, and that was not played in reverse, baby. That was all me. When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. That quote is by John Muir from My First Summer in the Sierra, 1911, page 110. And I found that actually in a thesis called The Case for Casein Fiber, Local Design Solutions for Sustainability in Manufacturing by Kimberly Fisher McKenna. And we're talking about the casein fiber because this is casein fiber, aka milk fabric, and this jacket is 23% milk. And this is actually part 2 because I already talked about pants that were 23% milk. But these are different, and this is strawberry milk. Sorry, just cutting in again here. I forgot to mention probably the most important thing about this jacket particularly. This is milk, of course, but it's strawberry milk. So you may be thinking, did they actually use strawberry milk? No, it's dye because the strawberry milk is just sugar. And as we'll find out in a little bit, there's no such thing as strawberry cows. And look at this. I would have made them strawberry milk. I would have kind of thought about it, and then Bezad, my friend at Naked and Famous, said, I'll do that, dare me. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. And he's like, dare me to do it, I'll do it. I think one of my favorite genre of people is people that have those massive motorcycles, which is basically a car with half the wheels, and they just blast rock and roll, baby, all day. Okie dokie, so this video is gonna be broken up into 3 different parts. Number 1, we'll talk about casein fabric, because believe it or not, and I'm saying casein, not like case in point. We'll be talking about whatever I just said, because believe it or not, I'm wearing about a gallon of milk. I think it would be more, probably like 3, but this is a blend. So we'll get into that. We'll get into casein and its efficiency. Then we'll talk about just jacket facts, not about casein, just about this jacket in general, because it has a very weird feeling to it. And then finally, we'll talk about what it feels like to wear milk. Hopefully, we're going for a hike. Hopefully, there's some solid lighthouse access that we can have and that we can enter, and vehicles are closed to vehicles, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So casein is very interesting, and I don't know really how to show it besides this, which I took from Kimberly's thesis. Kimberly, great thesis. I don't know when you wrote it, but you did a really good job. I hope you got an A, and I don't know what your job is or who you are or where you live, but I'm gonna find you and tell you good job. There was a study done in Minnesota in 2005 that said a school of 652 children and 100 faculty or staff, on average, per 5 days, wasted 66 gallons of milk. Either it went bad, it got spoiled, whatever it may be, it wasn't drinkable from the start, which is also something that does happen when people buy milk in large quantities. Some of it you just can't drink and you return it. So, 66 gallons per one school. Now, Kimberly doesn't live in Minnesota, but in Kansas City, there are 50 schools that are about the same size. So, 66 gallons per school times 50, 3,300 gallons of milk per 5 days just gets poured down the drain, literally goes down the drain. And she said, what's interesting is that in 1938, the Times did an article about a man that wore a full suit made of milk, made of casein fabric, and that man was Dino something. His name is right here, I can't remember it. But he was the Italian ambassador to England, and his suit used 6 gallons of milk from the jacket to the pants. Essentially, every 5 days in Kansas City, there could have been 550 suits made for this man, which is cool and a good use of waste milk. Now, regarding that quote, like I said in the beginning, it's not easy to make waste milk, it's expensive, and at the time when New York Times wrote this article in 1938, it was also really bad for the environment. Now it's good, but those numbers are really hard to do. That's just one reason as to why casein is so interesting, because when you see a giant puddle of milk, you could think that would have been a beautiful scarf. Kimberly goes on to say that aside from fiber, other use cases for casein are leather tanning, sizing, paint, and glue, and in the 19th century, housewives used casein as a fixative for broken pottery. Casein has been widely used as a plastic for buttons, buckles, imitation tortoiseshell, imitation ivy, dominoes, and shoehorns, and is used in many food items to provide body, as well as its most common use, cheese. Sucks to be a cow, born and you find out literally every piece of your body is useful for someone else. Thank you, Kimberly. Great job. I hope you got an A, like I said. Back in Brooklyn, go Nets. So the thing about casein fabric is that they say it most closely resembles wool. Wool comes from sheep, not from milk, although women sheep have milk. But what's interesting about that is when people say, when you're comparing the two fibers, what milk fabric most closely relates to is soybean fabric. That's very helpful. I have no idea what soybean fabric is like. Also, I'm making an avocado toast. This is an avocado that is rotten, and then this is sourdough bread that is still soft, and at one point was the best food I've ever eaten in my life, but now it is just awful. All the good has gone and the taste is gone. It's horrible. It's only soft because it's loaded with preservatives. Essentially, I'm making rotten food for you today. Casein fabric most closely resembles wool in properties, but in terms of actual structure of the fiber, most closely represents soybean fiber, which another interesting material, Naked and Famous. There's soybean, there's wheat fiber, there's a ton of different stuff. I don't know if any of it's usable, but very cool. But like I said, I have no idea what soybean fiber looks like, so they could have said it most closely resembles wing dongs and bing bings, and it would have meant just about the same. But on a property level, it's very antimicrobial, very breathable, retains moisture, which I don't think is a good thing. It's incredibly comfortable against the skin, and it has a hand like silk. So, like Hannah Montana, it is the best of both worlds. And many, wow, this is so rotten. My mom gave me these avocados, and I just couldn't eat them fast enough. And she also she makes oatmeal bars, which are great, and she really was in the lab cooking this time, and she mixed butterscotch, like chips, in with chocolate chips. Unreal. Unreal. Love them. Love you, Mom. She's also making me a blanket. Anyway, so yeah, it has a bunch of cool properties to it, which make it actually a really useful fabric. But I do want to talk about the actual jacket from Naked and Famous. Now, also, like I said, I haven't said this in a little bit, but an update for the jacket is coming. I talked to Brandon from Naked and Famous for the first time today. Super cool guy. They're just an unbelievably nice company. The jackets are coming. It's just like I said, COVID and supply chain issues. It's not Naked and Famous being slow, and it's not me being slow. It's trains and planes and cars and all that stuff is just not around. Onto this jacket. This jacket, actually, the most notable thing, I don't know if Naked and Famous did this prior a lot, but there's chain stitching all over the jacket. So when I wash this jacket, and they could have been doing this for years, but when I wash this jacket, you'll see it puckered everywhere, which, as you wear the jacket and it ages, those puckers are really great because the higher puckers fade faster and the lower ones don't fade. So you get a lot of variation in color. It's an incredibly soft jacket. It's 12.5 ounces, but it feels almost like it's 9.5 ounces, which is really cool. I like heftier things typically, but it is nice to be able to wear a very, very light jacket. And cotton is also very breathable, but the casein fabric, I feel like, is more breathable. And if it has a lot of similar properties to wool, that means it's also good at temperature regulation. And as we learned in the last video, if this is less absorbent than cotton, this jacket may also have some moisture wicking properties to it. Aha! It's a pretty standard type 3 denim jacket with 5 buttons. It's fit well. You can layer a sweatshirt under it. You should go true to size. I went up 1. And also the patch is really nice. This is a pull-up leather patch. Hey everyone, Michael here. Just real quick, this is of course Naked and Famous's logo, this lovely woman, and to show off pull-up leather, which is what this patch is made out of, you oftentimes pinch the leather. Now I just put 2 and 2 together and realized that this next part is extremely suggestive. So as you pull up on it, you will see the waxes and oils in it move around so the leather color changes color. The inside of the pocket bags, like I said, are cow printed, which is very cool, very low key, and all in all, it's an incredible jacket. Okay, so our girl Kimberly's thesis paper basically says, you know, with all this waste milk, basically every town, every place can have their own factory mill and make casein fabric. I don't think that's true. I think there's many, many other fabrics in the works. I don't think Q milk, which is the current sustainable one, is really gonna be the thing that takes over fabric, but when you can use it, it is very, very cool. And Naked and Famous is really one of the few companies I see of their size that's using it. And it's really, really nice and has a lot of cool properties. So I'm very excited to see where they go. Anyways, Naked and Famous, the last video I reviewed your chocolate milk, oh, Freudian slip. The last video where I reviewed your milk denim, I said, what about strawberry denim? And you delivered. So, what about chocolate denim? Or chocolate milk denim? Or just chocolate denim? Candy flavored denim. Anyways though, I will see you next week. And then the week after that, we'll be in a far off land, far off country, with a certain someone.